much time? You got to be miles away from here before dawn. Where is she?
Harriet, by Cassie Lemons, follows young slave Harriet Tubman on her journey to freedom.
Fear is your enemy. Whoa, easy now.
I'm gonna be free or die.
Tubman escaped from a southern plantation and traveled alone 100 miles north to Philadelphia, where she was one of the main forces of the so-called Underground Railroad, a network of people who helped fleeing slaves get to safety in the North.
If I'm free, my family should be too. I made up my mind, I'm going back.
She returned 13 times to rescue other slaves, starting with her own family.
Do you know what would happen if you got caught? You got lucky, Harriet.
I made it this far on my own, so don't you tell me what I can't do.
Filmmaker Cassie Lemons says it was time for Hollywood to tell Tubman's story.
A woman who is this brave and this strong and this single-minded and this courageous, you know, I think it's a wonderful time for that. It's a wonderful time to celebrate womanhood. It's a wonderful time to celebrate American heroes and courage, you know, and activism.
It says here you're 5.5 feet tall. You ain't more than 5 feet.
Must have won my high boots that day.
Recent films about slavery told from the perspective of slaves include 12 Years a Slave by filmmaker Steve McQueen and The Birth of a Nation by filmmaker Nate Parker.
Swinging in the southern breeze.
In the Me Too era, Harriet is the first feature film to focus on a historic female slave figure. Cynthia Erivo plays Harriet.
Would you like to pick a new name?
Harriet Tubman. You see Harriet as a woman, not just as the superhero. And because you get to see her as a woman, her being a superhero is all the more important because of the things that she had to go through. Don't you tell me what I can't do.
The film has garnered positive reviews for fleshing out Harriet into a spirited young woman, but there is also criticism. Twitter users using the hashtag #NotMyHarriet criticized the casting of Erivo, a British actor of Nigerian descent, in the character of a celebrated African-American icon. They also argue that the film includes a fictional character, a black bounty hunter, and utilizes fictional white characters who come to Harriet's rescue along her journey. GMU media professor Richard T. Craig says audiences are sensitive to formulas such as the white savior that might undermine the film's authentic voice.
It's just part of the developing nature of telling these stories, especially sensitive stories, you know, that are historical and about a time in America's history that America's not proud of. So when we have this discussion about where is the slave narrative or how is that story being presented and told to us, I think it's still in a place of development.
Despite the criticisms, Harriet raked in $12 million on its opening weekend.
Ready?
Penelope Poulou, VOA News, Washington.